Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Locke, and I'm here with two people. We're going to be doing a podcast series. Of course, you guys probably know me as Silver Contrail on my YouTube channel. I'm bringing in two people from my Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals, and hopefully every week we're going to be talking about how bad Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, why you shouldn't play it, and why, for some reason, we continue to play it. So I'll pass it over to the other two guys who can introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Tom. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Woo!
I'm Zach. I also play Yu-Gi-Oh! So there's that.
Surprise!
And that's all we have in common. Otherwise, we hate each other. Uh,
So true.
so we have some topics today. We're going to be talking about Breakers of Shadow, the new upcoming set,
Yay.
and some of the rarities and cards coming in that.
Alright, what do we want to talk about first? Um,
I think you have to start
well,
with the secrets, right?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
you have to start with secrets.
No, we don't.
Let's
Okay,
talk about the comments, guys.
Guys.
There's only 48 of them.
let's talk about the bad secrets to start then.
Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer.
Yes,
The card no one wants
that's
to pull.
that's why I'm not buying a box.
But it's like one bad secret, and you get two per box, so you can
Yeah,
still say pull, Solemn Strike and be good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Solemn Strike's pretty cool. We were just talking earlier about Ultimate Providence and why you think it's good and why I think it's bad.
Okay, I mean, I'm not saying the card is like great, but like it gives, lesser, obviously like tier 2 decks now. Like Burning Abyss, they basically either have monsters or traps in their hands. And this card's like, hey, you can negate stuff for basically free, and you can, get pluses off it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
if you're a deck relying on a discard outlet, it's definitely gonna see play. But otherwise, I don't see it as a card that's gonna see play. It's a -1 at best in other decks.
I
I
mean,
mean,
So,
yeah, it was the card really even playable besides using. I don't know how to pronounce that card's first name. The Absolver, the new
Ariante.
counter fairy. Yeah, the new counter fairy. That's where I see all the potential in the card is using it for free.
yeah, but wouldn't you just search out Solemn Notice in that situation or any other counter trap I see is more viable? Because they're not. You don't have the deck space. That was the problem that the OCG was seeing with Aria or whatever her name is. That it was that they just didn't have the deck space to put all the traps in. That's why a lot of them stopped playing it.
Well, interestingly, now they kind of do because their
Well,
deck got totaled.
that's a
They don't really have a choice
whole
now. They
different
kind of have to play
situation. Yeah,
it.
yeah. But yeah, I don't see it seeing play in Pepe right now, and definitely not in Cosmo.
No, definitely not. The decks that actually like matter after Breakers of Shadow, but
Maybe it will
no.
give Burning Abyss enough of a boost. I would be surprised if it did, but
I mean, there's
they are.
that in Twin Booster, so they're still way too slow though with one Graph and two Seer to keep up. I feel. I
All
mean,
right, we can move on to Dark Eclipser. I think this is a waste of a secret,
yeah, in
honestly.
terms of a Cosmo Boss monster, I feel it's pretty mediocre.
It's it's a it's a good card, and it's not the worst secret to have, but it's I don't know. It's just a waste of a secret. There's plenty of better cards they could have picked as secrets out of
I mean,
this set.
plus, I mean, if the card like negated spells versus traps, especially in this coming format, this would be like a great secret to have. But traps, you know, they can just flip Solemn Strike and be like, hey, no, not happening.
Yeah,
So,
I think this is just more proof that Konami wants to push Cosmos into like a chaos type build. And this is the way they see doing it with this, and Tin Man is filling up our graveyards. So Eclipser is live, and we can use Sword Troopers and stuff like that. But otherwise, like modern or current Cosmo builds don't use any type of graveyard at all. They're just banishing everything. I think they're trying to push us in this direction, and that's what Dark Eclipser and Tin Man are.
Can I just say
right.
that Dark Eclipser has amazing art as a Star Wars fanboy seeing a Imperial Star Destroyer come to Yu-Gi-Oh is so cool.
So kids, mail all your Dark Eclipsers to Kelly. He will collect them.
I will take them all.
Cosmojo, that is a great card.
That card is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my OTK combo going, but I'm also gonna non-target banish your stuff while I'm at it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a great disruption against almost any viable deck right now, just as a defensive card, and it's also really good offensively. That's where it has its greatest versatility. Is pushing for game. We don't have to play bad cards like Generation Force and things like that.
Now, Tom, as a Cosmo player, how many copies do you see plan on running this? 2 or 3?
Are you thinking, or did we lose you?
Survey says we lost him.
I think we lost him. Uh,
In the meantime, I guess we could talk about Performer Pal Pendulum Sorcerer.
yeah, so Pendulum Sorcerer coming out definitely changes the whole dynamic of that deck. Which,
Yeah, I was like hoping. It's like, please. I mean, it was kind of obvious they're gonna like bring it out in the set, but I was just, that glimmer of hope. Like, hopefully they don't import it yet. And then not only did they import it, but they made it a secret rare. So definitely, arguably like the best cash card of the set. I feel between that or Solemn Strike. I mean, those two are pretty.
I'm back.
welcome back.
Sorry about that. All right. Anyways, what were we talking about?
We moved on to Pendulum Sorcerer now.
Okay.
And I
The
think
card that
we...
basically makes what we call Pepe, what they called EMM in the OCG. Basically the best deck of the format, arguably.
Yeah, that's for sure. This is if we're gonna have for lack of a better term, tier 0 deck. This is gonna be it, and this is the card that's gonna do it. That and Monkey Board.
Oh my gosh, Monkey Ward. And that card's only a rare.
Yep. All right. Everyone's most hyped secret Infinity.
Which is, it's funny because like, I mean, the card is good. Obviously, it's a free solemn warning every turn, but no warning, judgment, whatever. But
Yeah,
you have to invest so many resources into summoning it. It's like, is it worth going into it at some points?
or the extra deck space. That's another question.
Yeah, because you have to run.
Extra decks are so packed. Is it worth running three extra deck spaces to play it? You know.
I mean, I feel like here in the TCG, just because we don't have the Shockmaster like the OCG had, it will see play more. But I don't know. It's a lot of resources to get into it.
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up to see if it's going to see a lot of play. And then our final secret, which is the Trap Tricks, which is the card I'm the most excited for.
And the one I feel might already be slightly power creep by the time it comes out.
Yeah, that's true. It's still a great 4 to go on your first turn for many
Absolutely.
decks. That's the problem with Pendulum, or not Pendulums, but Xyz, is there isn't very many first turn Xyz that you want to play. Right now it's just a Perform Age Xyz. Otherwise...
King of the Feral Imps.
King of the Feral Imps, yeah. But really, how good is King of the Feral Imps if you're just going to get OTK'd next turn?
Oh, it's awful. Unless you have a Trick Clown underneath, then you're like, hey, maybe I might live. And then you
Yeah.
still get OTK'd.
Yeah, I think that's what the Trap Tricks does, is it gives you a first turn Xyz play when you're going first, some type of defensive Xyz that's a rank 4.
The only issue, like, obviously you want to play this in Pepe. The only problem is you have to run at least a couple of trap holes. So like your deck's already like really tight as it is. But they have to like try to throw in a couple of, be it bottomless or a treacherous trap hole or a time space.
Yeah, but all of those, I mean, none of those
They're
are
still
bad
great
choices.
cards, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see Pepe playing it just for the extra deck space and the fact that Solemn Notice is going to be that much better than
True.
even searchable traps from the deck.
Kelly, thoughts?
Yeah, as far as it being the best defensive rank 4 to come out in such a long time, There's already a lot of performages running around with the one treacherous trap hole, and they could very easily just drop that to run time space or whatever. But like, it's all going to come down to that build limit because they're going to be trying to get solemn strikes in there, and their solemn warning probably. But definitely opening up with this, maybe even with a rogue rank 4 deck that can now play this and play time space and stuff to have a somewhat of a chance against perform mages.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to see the most play is in those rogue rank 4 decks. Basically, anything but Pepe that's going to be pumping out rank 4s is going to see this as one of the strongest first turn plays.
Agreed. So that wraps up the 8 Secret Rares set.
But
So-
wait, we didn't talk about Buster Blader. It's a good card, guys. Look, you play it, and then you attach a bunch of things to it, and
lose because
then
you play
they
Buster
play
Blader.
Raigeki, and then you scoop up your cards.
Exactly.
The deck doesn't have like a destruction prevention card.
It it has a lot of things. I don't think it directly has a destruction related defense.
Oh come on, even Noble Knights had one of those. What?
It has it has one that makes spell and trap cards that are already face up cannot activate their effects. It has one that your opponent cannot monsters in their graveyard cannot activate their effects, and one that I think they can't special summon from their extra deck. Yeah, so they can just Raigeki or Dark Hole you, and then you scoop up your field.
Oh, that's great. Hey, speaking of Buster Blader, though, for the Ultra Rares, Buster Blader, the Destruction Sword Master. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the level 7 effect monster.
That would be the one.
Yeah, I think for ultra rares and lower, we should just focus on the ones that are going to see play, if any. Like Tin Can.
Tin Can's pretty cool. Tin Can's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I think he's the best Cosmo we'll see. I think he's better than Farm Girl as a psychic. He doesn't require you to attack at all, which is a lot of the problems with Farm Girl. And you can go first and play him and get a ship on field or in your hand. So he's a pretty cool guy.
The only issue I might see with him, though, since it's you have to pick 3 with different names, you're not necessarily going to be getting the ship you want. I mean, obviously you could just pick, Dark Destroyer, Forerunner, and Slip Rider, and get one of those, but it's never necessarily the one you exactly want at that moment.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be nice if you had like Dark Destroyer in your hand and then you played him, then you could have 2. But yeah, I think he's still better than Farm Girl just because he gets you a ship. You can get your engine going. It's a 1-card engine rather than having to rely on drawing a psychic and a ship to get going.
Very true. A couple cards I want to talk about are the Ultras, just because I'm a Magician Pendulum fan. Eyes, Gravity Dragon, and Enlightenment Paladin. Neither of them are very good, but Gravity Dragon is just so cool because, like, hey, when I'm summoned, I'm going to be a giant Trinade that you can't negate. And then I'm going to swing for OTK. But it doesn't matter because you're playing against Pepe, and they already OTK'd you last turn.
It has the same burn effect. A similar burn effect.
Oh, yeah, it's Red Eyes Flare. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
so that's kind of cool. And then also the ritual spell, which I don't know what rarity that is, but for it
It's a base rare.
is it's kind of cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't name Gravity Dragon on it. It's for any dragon, so we won't be able to use pre-preparations of rights to search it out. Otherwise, I think that would be
no.
seriously competitive in the future. But you can get other dragons with it, and you can use the Odd Eyes monsters from your extra deck, kind of like Odd Eyes Fusion. So the only other thing you can really get with it is, you know what? I don't even know what you can get with it. Maybe Saphira?
I mean, maybe. But doesn't it say exact level on it?
No, it can be.
Oh,
It can be higher.
Oxided, yeah. I mean, I might try to fit it into my Odd Eyes Magicians, but competitive wise, it probably won't see any play. Same with the Synchro that they get, which is really cool because it's basically a DMOC when it's Synchro Summon using a
That
Magician.
is cool. It'd be cool if it was whenever it was Synchro Summon, but no. If it didn't need a Magician. that would be cool. The other notable thing is we get Prince, the Atlantean Prince,
The card
which
every Mermail player is hyped for.
yeah, how much of a effect is it going to have on the meta though? I don't think anything. I don't
I
think
really don't
this.
think it's gonna. I mean, obviously people are gonna try to play the deck thinking it can keep up with Pepe, but I mean the deck's an OTK deck in essence. It doesn't run a whole lot of like defensive stuff. So when their plays get picked apart with say like a Solemn Strike or whatever, they have a hard time recovering from that.
Yeah, I think it was just power creeped out. It was viable in the OCG, but here it was just power creep before it was released.
Some dude is gonna top a regional with this, just sacking people all day,
Oh, absolutely.
and then
Oh yeah, for sure.
and then everyone's gonna like be for like a week out there trying to pick up all the mermail stuff, and then nobody else is gonna top with it.
Yeah.
It's usually how it works. It's gonna be at the beginning of the format too, so like not everyone knows how to play against all the decks yet. It'll happen.
There are probably a lot of people playing right now in the competitive scene. Well, not like super competitive, but easily the regional scene will probably never played against mermails. That deck's
Oh,
been
yeah, I didn't
gone
think
for a
about
while.
That amazes me when I hear people say that they haven't played against these decks. I was like, oh, I'm old.
That's really it for Ultras. Oh, I mean, burying Mirror Force. I mean,
That's the
Yeah.
worst Mirror Force.
it is, and they changed the rarity. Like, why couldn't? Like, I mean, I know it'd be like the worst secret, but the rest of them have been secret rare so far. Like, come on, guys, keep your system consistent. Then I guess on the super rares, not really a whole lot like of note here. It's like 4 or 5 of the 14. For one, obviously Ariande, the Counter Trap Searcher is super rare, which is really surprising.
And
Card is-
Twin Twister.
I'm so hyped for Twin Twister. Oh my gosh,
That's pretty
Especially-
cool.
especially as a super rare. Like, then again, though, that means everyone's gonna get their hands on it, which means it's gonna be awful because like they're always gonna have the Twin Twister on you. It doesn't matter when, but they're gonna have it.
Twin Twister is the reason that I can't play DD's next format.
Yeah, that deck is
It-
so cool. Hey, we're talking about that later on.
We also get the new Kaiju spell.
That spell is, oh man, I love Kaijus to begin with, and then this spell is just ridiculous. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna blow up the whole field, then I'm gonna summon 2 Kaiju, and then we're gonna have to attack with them.
It's like, was it last turn that was the really old card that did that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So,
But this is different because it says they must battle if able instead of saying you go into battle phase and attack.
yeah, yeah,
So
yep. That's a
Mm.
pretty cool card. Sword Troopers, which we talked about a little bit earlier. But anything else you guys want to talk about in that?
not really. I mean, I guess the vanilla Draco Slayer guy is super, which is not surprising. That's about it. Base rares, there's a couple I was surprised about. For one, the Draco Slayer fusion monster is a base rare, which I was not expecting at all. Like that card is way too good to be a base rare, I feel.
And Goyo Defender.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly's excited about that.
That one card, rank 3.
Yeah,
If it's the only one you
he's
have.
kind of broken, and I don't think people realize it. So just keep special summoning him from your.
Yeah,
Your
free
extra
Malais.
Yep.
Whoa,
Yeah.
what? This thing's a free just. Whoa. I have not
Yeah.
read this card before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And these generic materials. I mean, like, as soon as you can make a 3 in plants and then not have another monster on the field, you just make him and then use his effect to get another one, use that one's effect to get a third one, and then you can make Malai and do all your shenanigans from there.
Yeah, I was surprised this wasn't a super. I'm surprised they made it a rare. It's coasting under everyone's radar.
The card is so cool. I'll have to pick up some of those when the set comes out. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is finally coming out here, and it's the base rare. That's exciting stuff. Bernie Abyss got like 3 cards that could use this set, but still not going to be enough. So
There was a
sad.
lot that were being played at the regional though, to some success. I don't think any topped, but
No, not
they
as
were
far as
definitely undefeated into the later rounds.
I think it's just because like they can make such like big boards that can keep like recycling themselves, especially with Traveler because that's being run at 3 now.
I also think it's really good at disruption. I think that's the key with the Pepe deck is to be able to play cards that can disrupt the plays. If you can survive that first OTK, you can disrupt them from, getting their King of the Feral Imp search or something like that.
Hmm.
You can outlast them, as long as you can survive that play. And I think Burning Abyss is very good at that. They can set lots of traps so they can't all be popped by the magicians if they're playing them.
Yeah,
So
next format, I don't think they're going to be playing the Magicians, which
yeah,
is so. But
I,
yeah,
I don't know if you guys saw Joe Bogley topped yet another regional. This guy is on fire. I've done deck of the weeks of his decks in the past, and he's basically topped with like everything there is. He topped with Burning Abyss at the Massachusetts regional same weekend that you guys went,
oh
yeah,
yeah, I read about that.
and yeah, he's got it's like 22 traps, 3 Storming Mirror Force, 3 Space Times, 3 Travelers, 3 Anti Spells, 3 Grand Horn of Heaven, 3 regular Horn of Heavens, all main decked. It is a lot of hate. Something like that I think could definitely be playable next format. Especially if you go first and you just set like 4 traps and like a Skarm or something.
yeah. And if our meta switches so heavily to the Performapal uh, deck, you can just main all this hate for this deck and top if you go first every game.
Hmm.
Uh,
All right.
that's
Commons, anything specific that we really want to talk about?
yeah. Why is Monkey Board a common?
That should have been another secret.
It literally completes your scale. Like regardless, you activate it, it completes your scale.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and it's a common. I understand it's like, oh, perform pals are usually all commons and rares, so we'll make it, a common.
There's the Twilight Ninjas are in the set. The 2 new ninjas.
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool.
Yeah, the level 8's pretty cool. And then, well, I mean, really ninjas on a whole are pretty cool, but they just do not do enough, unfortunately. And Rhoda's at 1 now, so
Yep.
you can't even. I don't think you can. No,
You
you can
only
super
s-
transformation, pendulum monsters. I don't know what I was thinking. But you can't obviously do anything to Xyz monsters. I think ninjas just they got that card way too late, and so they never saw
Way
play.
too late. And most of the Dino Mist cards are commons from looks of it. Deck's
Yep.
cool.
It is
Robot
cool, but it's not good. Which happens a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh!
like way too often. Oh, hey guys, Cosmo Delta Shuttle's a common. That's like the best common set, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Woo. That card's so bad. So, yeah. We can move on from that.
that's really
Shining Victories? Do we want to go to that?
yeah. The next big set coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! In a store near you.
In May.
May. After hopefully another Forbidden Slash Limitless kicks in and makes Pepe a little bit slower.
Yeah, so what I'm excited about for this the most is Moonlights. They've got a lot of synergy, and they can OTK really easily if your opponent's careless and leaves monsters in attack. It's kind of surprising when I first started playing the deck. I was like, it's kind of underpowered. But the more I play around with it, the more I realize how easy it is to OTK. But it does seem to require a bunch of pre-planning. You can't just kind of play without thinking about a few turns in advance how you're going to OTK.
Yeah, I haven't really played the deck yet myself, but like just looking at it, looks pretty cool, and the synergy looks like it's definitely pretty darn high. I'm personally excited for the digital bugs.
Yeah,
It's
they're a
another
lot of fun.
rank 3 spam deck basically, then goes to rank 5s and 7s.
Yeah, and all the FTKs with Cocoon Denser
I
all over the place.
I like it because when it plays one of my favorite, or I don't think people will actually play this card, but I play it because it's one of my favorite cards, Verdant Sanctuary, It's such a fun card with any insect theme, and especially this one because you're losing your monsters a lot. So you just keep searching out things, and I was playing it with the insectors in there too. So like they can destroy a howling insect. You get an insect from your deck. You get one added to your hand. They destroy that one. You get another one. If you have multiple verdant sanctuaries, you're searching out like 2 cards or 3 cards every time one of your guys gets exploded. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's what that card does. Okay. Verdant Sanctuary is pretty good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a fun card. I used to play like an insect beatdown deck with that card, and
Well,
it was a lot of
it
fun.
even saw play in a few Insectors decks.
Mhm. Yep, and we're playing howling insect in that too.
Yep.
Oh.
The Return of Insectors.
Oh.
So far, the last big archetype reveal from the set is the Amorphages, which are basically like pendulum monster floodgates.
Oh right, those things.
That they're kind of ridiculous, I feel.
They're
Like, I don't
kind of
know how much
stupid. Their
play
design
there-
is stupid. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. Their design is stupid.
I mean, it makes for a fun mirror match, right? Like, since you're both like, hey, we both can only swim in Morphages, it doesn't matter though.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it's
they have a continuous spell, I think it is. It's like whenever a Morphage is tributed, like you can search one, and like most of their pendulum effects are like you have to tribute one during your standby phase. It's just ridiculous synergy. Oh, right. There's more Legacy Sport in the set, so we always have to have that now, and we get more Blue Eyes stuff.
Yeah, I've been kind of looking into that a little bit. Some of it isn't that bad. The Blue Eye Spirit Dragon has just a once per turn. During either player's turn, you can negate a card activation in the graveyard, and then it tributes itself to dodge an effect, basically, and you can get a Light Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, but it's straight at the end phase, so that turn. I'm not entirely sure what it can get. It can get Sun Dragon. It can get start a Spark Dragon. I wonder if you can get Spark Dragon and then let it survive, like target it with its own effect.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Light End Dragon, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. That's a good target, and Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. I'm assuming that's what you're supposed to get with it.
Yeah, the whole point usually is to summon out Zero Eyes.
When this card is special summoned, Dragon-type monsters you currently control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects until the end of the turn. So is that how that works? Does that work in reverse? That's right. Yeah, it would save it. So if you got the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, it would count because it activates when he's special summoned, and he would just live. So even if your Spirit Dragon dies, you still get that. But it doesn't look like the deck has a lot else going for it quite yet. We'll have to wait and see what else we get.
and we also get Rippling Mirror Force in this set.
This is like I feel like the best of the new Mirror Forces, honestly.
I'd like to point out though, you get your search off Middle Shade Ticket if they activate this on you.
Well, that's all that matters then.
That's all
Card's
that
bad.
matters.
Card is bad out of 10. Would not play.
But yeah, it's definitely the best Mirror Force we have.
The only quote unquote hindrance to it is saying it's when they have to declare a direct attack. But this
Yeah.
next coming format, they're gonna try OTK anyways, so flipping this would be pretty nasty.
Yep. Nothing goes back to the extra deck. Nothing goes to the graveyard. Nothing. Nothing does anything.
And it's gonna be definitely gonna be a secret rare.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, the Unwavering Bonds. That card, the counter trap. It's counter trap.
Yeah.
It's a war trap.
When your opponent activates a pendulum monster's effect or the effect of a card that's already in the pendulum zone, negate the activation if you do banish the card.
I'm so excited for this card. I hate the pendulum mechanic in general, but this is just like payback.
I mean, it's basically an immediate 3 of in the side, regardless, just because pendulums are obviously here to stay now, so.
Yeah.
So the real use for this card is to kill things that are on the field or that are activating in the extra deck, or maybe they activate in the hand or something. Because if it's a card in a pendulum zone that's activating, you're just gonna typhoon it
Yeah,
or
yeah, that's true.
hit it with some kind of removal, and that negates it on its own. It's like sort of everything else. And I mean, I guess the fact that it banishes it is a little bit better than trying to typhoon it, but it is, to me, Wavering Bonds kind of looks like it might be a little sketchy to play, depending on how slow it actually feels in the format that it gets launched in. Because there's always
True.
going to be stuff that I'm gonna like want to play instead, like Effect Veiler or even Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to kill Luster Pendulums and those sorts of
Well,
things.
Just think you'll be able to search it at this time in Pendulum Mirror matches.
That's also true.
So,
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the card, but I mean, obviously time will tell of how good it actually is and how relevant it'll be. Is there anything else cool coming out that's been announced so far? Let's see. More Raid Raptor stuff and more high-speed roid stuff that no one probably cares about.
Speedroid is so cool. If only they came out like 3 years ago.
Hey, just play with Burning Abyss. That's what they do in the OCG.
It's such a cool synchro archetype, but it's just too slow. 2008, it would have been the best deck around.
Oh, wait, there's one more card in this set. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon.
Oh man, I love this card.
This card is just crazy.
But the only, like, obviously the hindrance is like trying to get into it. But
Yeah.
it's relatively generic for considering like its summoning conditions.
There
Uh,
are. I'm trying to think of exactly what you can. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can make it with the new Synchron stuff. Obviously, like the best way to make it is with Dragonity Ducks, by far. Like it just is the best
true.
way to make it.
It's very
Uh,
true.
But
No, I don't think it's that hard to make if you're in a deck that's going into synchros quite a bit. You can make it with a 3 and Librarian. That's possible. There's plenty of other decks that just spam out lower level synchros to go into higher level synchros. So it's not that difficult to make.
the only question I have with it is, like, if you are playing those decks that are getting all those multiple materials and stuff, you're probably going into Trishula or something else. Because beyond, I think if you're not making it for one card, it's probably not that good. Because it negates an effect activation, destroys it, and negates the attack, which is great. And it's great when you're battling level 5 or higher monsters. But, like, against Perform Mages, they're going to bait it out of its effect, and then they're just going to run it over.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have any meta effect, but as a casual card, it's a cool card. It's easy to pump out in a lot of decks, a lot of casual decks, but nothing competitive. It's just too difficult to pump out.
So we're on about 34 minutes here.
Right,
Well,
you want to do
halfway through.
one more or two more? We can do DDD.
We can do whatever you guys want.
We can go to DDDs. That's what you want to talk about.
I didn't even suggest this topic. Just want to go on the record and say that.
You're welcome for that.
But I did just write about this deck for my article going up on Tuesday, actually. And it covers both those deck lists that you put on there on the doc.
I did
the,
good then.
The one by what's his face that I can't remember because it's been
Those are the best names for people.
Cocktail and the other one, which I have to click and bring up real
Jackson
quick.
Smith.
Oh yeah, Smith.
Let's talk about how both of these are very different from what we'd been seeing from Triple D's before this. How they're definitely shifting to the mass change play.
Yeah, I would say if maybe this was the case or maybe it wasn't, but it looks like Cottrell just saw Jackson Smith's build, and then if he was building it himself or if he decided, hey, I'm going to play that deck and I'm going to make it better or whatever, and then he just went off and he made this because they're almost identical. There's just a handful of changes between the two, and they just kind of stick to it. Like Mass Change 2, as soon as that kind of clicked with me, it became an obvious inclusion for Different Dimension Demons. And it's such a good card, and Master of Dark Law is such a good card, and you want to put cards in your graveyard already. You want to turn, especially you want to turn those DD Savant Keplers into real monsters instead of 0 attack, 0 defense, level 1 pendulums you can't do anything with anyways. And that card does it, and it stomps out decks that don't have an out to it immediately, and people don't like playing against it. Because like first turn if you're playing Magician Pendulum or Performance Pendulum, whatever, you're playing your cards in your Pendulum Zone, you're destroying them. Well, now they're getting banished when they get destroyed, and anything you're searching, or one of those cards that you're searching, one of those cards is getting out of your hand is getting banished. And so you're losing a bunch of cards from your Pendulum Zone, and you lose one card out of your hand, and sure, you can set up a play, maybe get over it, but then next turn you're in a bad spot, and I have a graveyard set up, and it kind of goes out from there. The only thing that I find is weird about these decks is that in his video, Jackson Smith talks about how he really didn't like Deck Devastation Virus because he didn't think it was that good. And then Cottrell mained one, and then he cited 2 more, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, that's interesting. The other interesting thing I see from the decks is I think it was Quattrell is playing Glow Up Bulb.
Yes, so he plays Glow Up Bulb instead of Baphomet.
Yeah, which is kind of neat. I don't know how viable it is. You probably tested it.
Yeah, so Glow Up Bulb is actually really good in this deck with the Foolish Burial that he's playing and the discard outlets that he has. And you play you play a bunch of level 7 monsters, which it's great with. But some of the more common setups, you're going to have Savant Kepler on the field, a level 7, and then if you can get that, if you can get the Glow Up Bulb in there somehow, get it into the graveyard or normal summon it, then that's 9 for Trishula. So he played 1 copy of Trishula. And he also played one of the...
Oh, the
Scarlet Red, Scarlet Red Dragon, which is another out to, and a really important out to Cosmo Dark Destroyer. But he didn't play Cypher Omega, which
it's kind of interesting.
I was like, man, he really should be playing that card. I figured it was a space thing.
Well, he's got 2 Chimera Techs in there, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, perhaps he just didn't own one. It's always a possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
It's possible. Plus, the card's kind of expensive, so maybe you didn't want to warrant buying it. I mean, the deck itself is relatively budget friendly for the most part.
Oh yeah, it's super cheap.
Quote unquote expensive card for the deck itself is Rebel King Leonidas.
And I talked about that card too. It's really not a useful card. I hate drawing into this card. Like, anytime I can just get it to the graveyard so that I can set up to, use it for a material or special summon it, that's okay, but I really don't like seeing it if I can avoid it.
It's really surprising, because, pretty much every build has to run 3 of it, too. Interesting.
And you were also talking about not liking Transmodify, Kelly? Where both of them played Transmodify, I think both in 2s.
Yeah, they both played 2 Transmodify. It's viable in one case when you make the Oracle King Diarch and then you Transmodify it into Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. And that is the only time you can use it in either of these decks. There is no other play with them. So it's very strange, and I found that it was dead a lot when I was testing it, that I would have it and I would just not be able to make the fusion for whatever reason, which you do super reliably, but sometimes you can't. Or they chain Max C, and then you're like, I don't want to play this Transmodify out of my hand. And then you lose your fusion next turn, and then it's such a strange card for them to play. I see why they played it. It definitely increases the deck's ability to OTK and gets you extra cards basically, but at the same time, it's really conflicting because you can't use it anywhere else. It's only good for that one play.
I guess maybe the theory was because that play can happen so often that they just were like, why not?
Yeah, and it must have worked out for them. Otherwise, maybe they set it out. But it's just in my testing, when it came up, there were a lot of times that either didn't want to play it, or there was a lot of cases where I would have it, and the few times that I would have it, I was also those few times where I wasn't able to make that fusion summon. So that might be my own personal luck.
All right, do we want to move on to our last topic then? Talk
Let's
about
go.
the Monarchs. that are coming
Monarchs.
out.
The deck that's really hyped, but also may already be power creeped.
Yeah, it was still seeing play in the OCG in a even faster format than we will probably see. They weren't finding lots of success, but there was a measurable amount of Monarchs seeing play in the OCG. So,
I mean, the spells they have, the new spells and traps they're getting are ridiculous. But one of the issues is now that since Rhoda's at 1, it makes it a little more difficult because they're like smaller level guys who are both warriors, so
yeah,
that cuts down the
it's
consistency.
hitting Rhoda. Kelly talked about this the other day. Hitting Rhoda really hurt a lot of smaller strategies, and this is probably the best example of one that is hurt by Rhoda.
It makes, I mean,
Ninjas.
it was kind of a bizarre hit. I mean, obviously going off a little bit off topic here, but like when they hit Rhoda on the ban list, it was like I'm guessing the idea was to hit tellers, but in the opposite end they hit pretty much everything like rogue related.
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of rogue decks running around playing triple Rhoda, and they just simply had to either stop playing that deck or shift to another way.
And
Like
it's
Mark,
not
I'm
like
really curious how one Rhoda is going to affect how consistent the deck is when it comes out. Because pretty much like from what I heard from everyone that plans on playing it, they're like, yeah, I'm just going to focus on Majesty's Fiend and Vanity's Fiend being like untargetable and undestroyable and all that.
Yeah,
That's
I
gonna,
don't know what Rhoda is in the OCG off the top of my head.
I don't recall myself, unfortunately.
Quick Google search.
what I was gonna say about Teller Knights is, you hit Roto to 1 to hit Teller Knights if you're Konami logic,
Yeah,
and it's like, well, Teller Knights have Deneb. They don't need
they don't
Rota to
need
be
Rhoda.
competitive. There's all these other decks that Konami hasn't seen fit to grace them with theme searchers, so they're reliant on Rota, or they do have theme searchers. They're just bad. And so, I wouldn't the smart thing to do there be if you want to hit Teller Knights, actually like hit Teller Knights, limit Deneb, limit Altair, but I don't know what Konami's thinking with that one.
Yeah. Honestly, I was surprised Teller Knights even got hit by that ban list. I was
Yeah.
expecting them just to bypass them again. They seem to turn a blind eye to Teller Knights quite a few times.
Or else
But
thought they were going to turn a blind eye to Ritual Beast, but look what happened there.
yeah. Um, Also, reinforcements of the army is limited in the OCG as well.
Interesting.
So
So, I mean, the deck saw success there with 1, so. I mean, it's also contingent too of whether or not we get the field spell in the structure deck because that was not a part of it, if I'm not mistaken, in the OCG. The Dominion.
I don't know the OCG builds.
I believe we're getting that card.
Are we?
Okay.
Yeah, because I've made the same point. Someone had brought that up previously, and I made the same point. Like, I didn't think we were getting the field spell because I'd heard that we weren't getting the field spell, and then I looked it up, and apparently we're getting the field spell.
It wouldn't be surprising, I mean, considering we got Wisdom Eye in the structure deck when that was not originally in it, in the OCG, so. So the deck will basically be at full force when it comes out here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's doing stuff at the regional level, but I don't think it'll make any impact in national level tournaments like a YCS or anything like that. Maybe one or two people getting top 32 at a YCS, Because every so often someone squeaks in with a weird deck there. But
Yeah, I mean the deck itself has a pretty strong engine, but it's just again the format we're coming into is just not enough.
I
It's really
simply
a
just don't want to play against it, honestly. It's
no,
gonna
no.
be
Playing against it is not a fun time ever. But it's also kind of sad though because decks like this, in the format we're coming into, will more than likely not see a whole lot of play. But there's like so many creative strategies that are available to us right now that aren't entirely viable.
that is true.
The new level 8, their level 8 boss monster, the Heaven one, is pretty ridiculous though. Summons
Which one is
another
that?
one from the deck.
I had read today that the original Monarch, their continuous trap card that they're getting, it's like a trap that can special summon itself from the graveyard as a
Yeah.
monster,
Yeah.
Yes.
that you can loop them because its text is similar to Ritual Beast Ulti Canahawk. So if you have one in your graveyard and one on the field, you activate the one in the graveyard, and you target you target the and I'm not sure of the order because I'm just looking at it now. Anyways, the on-field effect, you target two spell trap cards that are Monarch spell trap cards in your graveyard. You shuffle them back in the deck and you draw one card. And if it's in the graveyard, you can banish another one, a Monarch card, to special summon it. So you can, with the first one, target another copy of the original Monarch and another card, and then with the original Monarch, you banish a different card, and you can special summon that. In the chain, you throw only one card back into the deck, and you draw a card still.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they have that D-draw, which puts their spells and traps into the graveyard, so that's cool. And they can banish that to search a card, right?
Yeah, the pinned 80 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that
believe
one.
So, yes.
You send one spell or trap card from your hand to the graveyard, draw two cards. You can banish them from the graveyard. Oh, then it's reveal three spell or trap card, Monarch spell or trap cards from your deck. Your opponent picks one, shuffle the other two back. So it's like a spellbook of the Crescent,
Except good.
except good. Hey, that card was good in 2013.
Yeah.
The good old days, Dragon Rulers.
Oh, you mean the format we're coming into again?
Oh, right.
But with different dragon rulers? That happen to be clowns and animals with bow ties and hats? And possibly, Wizard of Oz and Star Wars mashups? I am curious to see how Cosmo is going to fare in this upcoming format, how often they will see tops and all that.
All right, we're coming up on 50 minutes. I think we've hit all our topics.
List has definitely been crossed off.
Yeah. So I think that's a good time to end. If you guys have any last things to say.
I do. I have one last thing to say. So, if any of you listeners made it this far, which you should be commended for, if you have any questions, I'm going to put this in the description too, but if you have any questions, send them in to us. We will answer them on next week's podcast. And I think that's about it. You guys want to shout out your YouTube, Twitter, anything? Where can
No.
people find you?
No,
Don't
definitely
follow
not.
me on anything.
Oh.
Social media is not a thing.
Don't subscribe. Don't follow on Twitter. You cannot find me at Silver Contrail.
Yeah, if
And-
you want to contact any of us, contact Kelly.
And
Yeah.
you can also not find me on TCG Player every Tuesday, and also I'm on the newsletter writing about card games. So I think that's about it. I guess we'll call it here. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.